The South African asset management industry stands at a pivotal moment. Transformation is deepening, market structure is shifting, and a new generation of managers is reshaping its future. Welcome to the 2025 edition of the DEInvest Survey, South Africa's definitive benchmark on transformation and industry trends in asset management. Now in its 17th year, the DEInvest Survey is the industry's barometer of change, tracking asset management's role in driving inclusive growth, innovation, and investment. Over the next few minutes, we'll unpack the data and spotlight key shifts shaping the industry's next chapter. South Africa's asset management industry continues to demonstrate remarkable scale and depth, cementing its position as one of the most sophisticated markets on the continent. This year's survey covers 93 asset managers, overseeing a combined 6.8 trillion rand in assets under management. The market is anchored by institutional investors, who hold 4.4 trillion rand in assets, alongside a significant retail segment of 2.4 trillion rand. The industry remains highly concentrated. The top 20 managers control almost 90% of total assets, but a vibrant cohort of emerging managers is bringing specialization, innovation, and fresh competition to the landscape. Public markets remain the backbone of the industry, accounting for 93% of total assets under management. But private markets are steadily gaining ground, now at 7% and rising from a low base in previous years. For the first time, private equity, infrastructure, and private credit feature among the industry's top 5 investment strategies by AUM. This marks a structural shift towards greater diversification and real economy exposure. This shift is being propelled by retirement funds, development finance institutions, the private sector, and government, channeling capital into the green and digital economy, healthcare, manufacturing, and other growth sectors. So where is the money invested geographically? The industry remains largely domestic in focus, with around 75% of assets invested within South Africa. A further 23% is allocated offshore, concentrated in listed equity and fixed income, reflecting a strong preference for liquid, developed markets. Only 2% of assets are invested elsewhere on the continent. Structural shifts are reshaping South Africa's asset management industry. Corporate activity has intensified, signaling a period of strategic repositioning as firms refine their business models and sharpen their competitive edge. Landmark transactions, including Sanlam's partnership with 91 and Coronation's BBBEE deal, illustrate both consolidation and transformation at scale. This trend extends to mid-size firms, as seen in the merger of Vunani Fund Managers and Sentio Capital. At the same time, local managers are building alliances with offshore asset managers, drawing on global expertise, product innovation, and distribution networks. These developments are reshaping competitive dynamics and positioning the industry for a more globally integrated future. Transformation is firmly embedded across South Africa's asset management industry. 71% of firms are Level 1 BBBEE, 74% are majority Black-owned, 21% are majority woman-owned, reflecting continued progress in ownership diversity. At governance level, 73% of boards hold a majority of Black members. Over half of all boards include at least 40% women, strengthening diversity in decision-making. At the executive level, Black CEOs and managing partners hold a clear majority, and women now lead a quarter of firms. On pay equity, racial parity is almost universal, with 99% of firms reporting equal pay between Black and white employees. Gender pay parity stands at 89% of firms. The industry employs 5,418 full-time employees, with 96% being South African citizens. Women represent 52% of the total workforce. At the senior investment leadership level, Black chief investment officers make up 61% of the industry, but women remain underrepresented, holding just 20% of these roles. When it comes to who manages the money, Black professionals play a leading role across the industry. For women portfolio managers, representation remains limited. Positively, transformation within the workforce continues to deepen. Women are building a strong presence at analyst levels, and African women in particular are forming a growing pipeline of future investment leaders. But gaps remain. diversity is concentrated in support functions, creating the risk of a transformation silo, where diversity is visible in the back office, but less so in capital allocation and decision-making roles. The 27-4 DEI Index is South Africa's definitive benchmark for transformation in asset management. It measures progress across 5 key pillars: ownership, representation, equity, impact, and governance. The index is more than a scorecard. It offers a standardized framework for managers to assess performance, benchmark against peers, and adopt best practices. It also enables investors to evaluate managers on DEI criteria, ensuring that transformation is embedded in capital allocation decisions. With growing evidence that diverse teams deliver stronger financial outcomes, DEI has become both a social imperative and an economic driver. Importantly, leadership on DEI is not determined by firm size, but by focus, commitment, and disciplined execution. This year's leaders reflect both continuity and fresh competition. In the greater than 100 billion rand category, Old Mutual Investment Group sets the benchmark once again, winning for the second consecutive year. In the 30 to 100 billion rand category, Argon Asset Management takes the lead. In the 10 to 30 billion rand category, Perpetua Investment Managers retains its top position, reinforcing its consistent leadership. And in the sub-10 billion rand category, the most competitive segment, Raindance Asset Management emerges as the top performer. The 2025 DEInvest Survey reveals an industry at an inflection point, where scale meets transformation, where private markets meet innovation, and where DEI moves from intent to measurable impact. Download the full report at 274.com and join us in shaping an industry that delivers both return on investment and impact. 27-4, investing for a transformed future.